Okay. I want to thank you guys for being here. Very much appreciate your time. I got a few opening comments, and then I'll happily open it for questions. But I did want to take this time to thank all the supporters, including fans, donors, students, faculty, staff, that have helped us make really some significant progress since the season began for us in January and since we got here a couple years ago. So I want to take this opportunity to sincerely thank all of them. I asked just a professional courtesy if you could refrain from asking our players about what they think the quarterback starting position should be. Again, I can't control you. I just ask that you do that for us. I'll be happy to answer any of those questions. We haven't made a decision yet, but I know we're going to get that. Also, ask that same thing about injuries with our players as well. So Jalen Young is not here today. He's under the weather. He's in good standing. There's no story to that. He'll hopefully be back practicing when we're back on the field on Tuesday. Very, very excited how our preseason camp is going. And I say that in the present tense because we are still in preseason camp even though school starts tomorrow. We are a young football team. There's times we still see that youth. But if we can help them mature quickly as men and as football players, that's going to be critical to our success on the field this season. But we are still young, and those mistakes of youth we're constantly correcting, constantly working to remind them of all the time. But I will say this, I do feel something very special rising with this football team. I feel something rising with the 2016 group that the kids feel too, and I'm excited about where we're headed. We were able to reward, I'm proud of this, it was an exciting moment last night. We were able to reward 3 players that came through this program the hard way, had to earn everything that they've done since they've walked in. We put 3 players on scholarship last night, Hayden Nagel, Alfred Ansley, and Anthony Hamilton. It was a great moment for our football team, so very, very proud of them because, again, these are 3 young men that haven't asked for anything. They just come to work every day, and they've really earned it. So proud of that. We also voted for captains last night. Excited to name the 5 captains. Aziz, got to be one of the youngest captains, I would imagine, in Florida Atlantic football history. Trey Hendrickson. Those are our 2 defensive captains, and there were 3 on offense with Tyler Cameron, Dylan DeBoer, and Caleb Woods. I'm really proud of who our team elected, and what was fun was as you look at other vote getters, there was another 5 or 6 guys that would have also been very good captains, and we're going to continue to lead on them as if they are captains and demand their leadership. But these 5 guys, again, since the season began in January, have displayed a selfless attitude and a relentless desire to help this team succeed, and our players feel that. Our focus has been, since we started this camp and the season in January, has been on our fundamentals, our effort, and our focus. And that will not change. That will not change as we move forward through the season. Won't change as we transition into our next mission on Thursday of getting ready for Southern Illinois, which we're not there yet. But again, our focus will continue to be on the fundamentals, having great focus, and a relentless effort to get to the ball or finish the play on offense. Things we need to do, we need to finish fall camp. Like I said, fall camp ends for us on Wednesday, and we get the opportunity to do that while they have a full class load starting on Monday, and then including practice on Tuesday. Like I said, camp ends for us on Wednesday, and Thursday starts our next mission, which is getting ready for Southern Illinois. So with no further comments, I'll happily open it for questions. Sure.
Coach, you mentioned that the quarterback conference is still going on, no decisions yet. How is Daniel Barr looking?
They're both looking great. They're both getting better. They're both really forcing each other to compete every day, and it's not a controversy, it's a competition. I mean, that's the great thing is, and you'll feel it from our players, again, I'm hoping you won't ask them, but I'm sure somebody will. The thing is they feel comfortable with both those guys, and both those guys are doing really good things.
Were they both equally able to pick up and latch on to kind of the new offense, the fast tempo, the know-how, all that stuff?
They've both done a really nice job with that. And the great thing is they both were on equal footing when Coach Trickett came in. The advantage that Driscoll had at the start of this competition was his experience on the field last year when Quez was battling some of his issues and injuries. So that was the only advantage coming into it, but they both learned the offense together, and they both done a nice job picking it up.
Charlie, you mentioned yesterday you might have a leaning one way or the other, and then you and
No.
Travis on the same page.
What I said was we're both on the same page. We're not leaning any direction at this point, and we are on the same page, and we'll continue to have the same discussions that we've had the last, since spring ball started.
I know you won't put a date on it, but how will you know know when that decision is made? How will you know that this guy is the right guy for this season?
Yeah, we've been having those conversations the entire way, and we've been looking at the collective, and we have a goal to get it done by mid to end of the week, certainly before we get ready for Southern Illinois prep.
Coach, you had mentioned that Tyler Cameron's your captain. Obviously, a year ago, you came to FAU's quarterback. So what does it say to you that in about a year and a half, this guy's come from Wake Forest, it's kind of the odd man out there, to an offensive leader, both in name and on the field?
Well, I think it's a huge credit to Tyler and the way he's come in with a humble attitude. And again, I want to be clear on this. I didn't name any of these captains. This was a 100% player vote. And they elected him as their captain. And he got a huge amount of votes. He was a big vote getter. And it talks a lot about his attitude coming in. I mean, you could look at him moving from quarterback to tight end without blinking his eyes at all, or you know, having any kind of attitude that I wanted to come here to be a quarterback. He just wants to come here and have a great experience and win, and we found a home for him at tight end that he's going to have a good year and hopefully a chance to play after this year's over on Sundays.
How important is it to have a guy so dominant on the field, Trey, be looked up to by his teammates also to make him captain?
I think it's really important, and I caution the kids. I talked about the captain's vote for a couple days leading into it, and I tried to make it very clear that it's not about the best player. It's not about the most popular guy. It's about the guy that will work to hold other teammates accountable and make sure that everyone around him is doing what we expect up to our standards in terms of effort and focus. And Trey has done that. He's worked hard, and I'm proud. All 5 of these guys had a chance to stand up in front of their team last night and thank them, and I didn't tell them to prepare anything. I announced the captains in front of the football team, and it was impressive to see the 5 of those guys with sincere emotion thank their team and honestly ask for energy back and to really say we have a whole room full of leaders here, so let's work off of each other. It was a pretty striking moment.
What do your captains do? What are their duties?
They go to the coin toss.
Is that it?
Thank you. I'll be here all day. No, it's what it does is it says the players have elected you as our leaders. But we are at a point now where when you looked at the vote, and I'm not going to name who was next, but 6, 7, 8, all the way down to 10, 12 guys, you could see, yeah, all those guys could be captains at this point. So they go out for the coin toss. We're going to refer to captains. I may meet with them here and there on little decisions, and we'll go to them first if there's any kind of issues that we feel bubbling, or they certainly can come to us if there's something going on in the locker room that maybe we're not aware of.
Is it ideal? Would it have been ideal to have a quarterback among those captains?
I think it's ideal that the players chose, and whether it's a quarterback or a backup or someone who loves this team and holds them accountable and is on scout team, they chose their leaders, and we're going to lean on those guys heavily. And it's the leadership is really on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday lifting. That's when it comes in, and then we need all of our top leaders, which is beyond the captain's vote, to be there on Saturday as well.
Are you up to 85 scholarships now?
We are, yes.
When do you start looking at your opponent, what they have to offer already?
Well, as coaches or as a football team? We've done preliminary game plans on the first 4 opponents, so we've been there, right? That's part of your off season. Off season, you do a self-study and you do a first 4 opponent study. So for Southern Illinois, for example, we've been looking at their offense and UNLV's defense. So I mean, for the next opponent, we've been looking at Georgia film and et cetera, Mississippi State defense because of Manny Diaz. So as coaches, during the off season, we've done preliminary game plans, but as a football team, we'll go one mission at a time, and we'll start that next one on Thursday.
How important is your depth at the running back position? You have 4 or 5 guys that you throw in there, and how many of them do you see getting consistent carries early in games?
Yeah, it's a good question. That right now you could argue is one of our most, if not the most explosive unit on offense right now, and that's a good problem to have, right? And a lot of times people get confused when they hear spread and no tempo or no huddle, no mercy. As always says, no huddle, no mercy. That it means we're going to just throw the ball all around the yard. Yes, we're going to have a passing game, but we're going to work to establish the run too. And you just look at Auburn, look at Clemson, look at these teams that are spread and no huddle and fast. Run game is a big part of it, and we've said since Coach Trickett's come here that he's going to call players, not plays. So there you go. You've got a nice group of really explosive athletes in that room that we're going to take advantage of. So a lot of those guys will be involved in the plan. And maybe out of the backfield catching a pass, maybe 2 or 3 of them in the backfield. Just depends on what's working and clicking best and what fits against the opponent.
When you ask the players to vote for captains,
Mhm.
you ask them one name, you ask them their top 3,
Good.
how did that work?
Good question. What I had them do was they voted for 2 on their side of the ball and 1 from the other side. So every player voted for 3, but 2 on their side, 1 on the other.
And delineation, was it you were gonna take 5 guys, or 5 guys got 80% of the vote?
You really just looked at the vote numbers, and there was a line there, a separation. The next vote getter was an offensive guy. I didn't want to have 4 and 2, and there was a drop in terms of vote numbers. So that was the main reason.
You mentioned Aziz being one of the youngest captains and
Mhm.
not the youngest in FAU
Right.
history. What does it mean for his growth on and off the field to be named captain?
Sure, I think it says a lot of things. I think, again, it points to our youth as a football program, right? We are still young as we've gone through the high school ranks and recruited to bring him in here. But it says a lot for Aziz because his emotions being channeled, because he's a very emotional player. He plays with passion that we all love. Over the course of the last year, he's really learned to channel that emotion and always be a positive emotional influence on those around him. So he's continued to mature at a very, very high rate and has the respect of all of his teammates.
What's that Nate Terry's development been, sort of in his new role?
Out of wide receiver, yeah, it's a duck to water. I mean, right away from day one, seeing him, continue to make catches, continue to make plays, weapons in certain parts of the field, being a weapon in a certain part of the field. It's fun to watch him really become a leader within that group. I mean, him and Caleb right now, and you could say Cam Solomon as well, are 3 guys that are in a leadership role in that room. And Nate's been fun to watch grow. But he was there a lot last year as well. We split him out as a tight end quite a bit. We're just taking off the stress of being an inline blocker, which probably wasn't best suited for him.
It was fun to watch players in practice kind of being coaches in their own, like OC and very vocal guys like
Yeah.
that. Do you see more of that this year than ever, or is that sort
Since
of,
I've been here,
Yeah.
yeah. And one of our goals this camp was to tell the players, hey, quiet the coaches. Quiet us. Let us focus on knee bend and tight wrists and tight elbows and technique things. There's an effort issue. We've been together long enough where you know the standard, you guys handle it. And to see those things happening, to see them come together and take the field, take it with some passion, and it's coming from them. And those are indicators that there is something rising here that I'm really excited about.
When you awarded those scholarships, how did those 3 guys react?
It was a fun moment. They didn't know it was coming. I had them step in front of the team and sing the fight song, and I had a screen behind them so they're facing the team, screen behind them, and I flashed behind them that these 3 have been put on scholarship, and the team lost it. There were some tears in the room, and it was a special moment for those 3 and for the football team. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Coach, any freshmen get,
What's that?
not necessarily.
Hold on, Justin. One more for Chuck. Hold on, but I'm going to get back here and I'm going to calibrate.
All right, I have something funny to show you too. Did you rank Joseph kick during the scrimmage yesterday?
No. He'll be fine for the first game.
Is Trepkos the guy at that point, if there's an issue somewhere down the road?
Trepkos or Rickle?
Or is one a long guy, one a short guy? How do you do that?
No.
So you don't have a number 2 set in your mind yet, so that's fair.
I think it's fair. Could be Trepkos or Rickle.
When you expect Joseph to practice this week?
Hope so.
You expect him ready for game for?
Yes. Absolutely.
And Landon, everything I'm well with Landon?
Landon Shear?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But he's not probably until a couple of weeks.
Probably.
He's not kicking, right?
Probably right.
Same with Antonio. He's still a couple days.
Antonio Woods, no, he practiced this morning. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Really? Chuck, anything else I need to know?